and welcome to Chapel Bell Curve, a stats-focused podcast about UGA football. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Justin.
And I'm Anna.
It's Anna.
And that's Anna, Justin's wife, and or someone who just walked into his house. So obviously, we're not here to talk about stats, and normally you don't get to see our very well moisturized faces, but here we are anyway. So what are we doing tonight, Justin?
We're making cocktails. It's a CBC Booze-Stravaganza, Nathan, and that's why Anna's here in the first place, because she heard that there would be cocktails.
I think we're going to get a Samantha sighting at some point as well.
Okay, yeah, I know. So we'll be making some cocktails tonight. We'll be talking about how to make them. We'll be going through all that. We have 4 different cocktails that we'll be making tonight. We'll be making what we've called the French Owen Condon. I have the Cocoa Dance, and then Smooth, which is something that has become essentially like Chapel Bell Curve canon at this point in legend. And then we have just the Hot Toddy Munkin.
I'm excited. I feel powerful. I feel
alive.
so virile and masculine. So let me go get some rock. Are we making this first one in rock glasses?
So this first glass will actually, this first drink will be in, it can be in anything you want. Traditionally, this would be made in like a flute glass. I like putting it in coupe glasses. We like these little nice coupes.
Oh,
this
I got
is a
one.
drink that doesn't have any ice. So if you have coupes,
Okay.
great. If you have flutes, great. If you got whatever, great. If you have just one of these rocks glasses, you can make any cocktail you want of these. Go nuts. But yeah, so we'll be talking a little bit about booze in general. We'll be talking about the traditional recipes for some of these drinks, because all of these drinks are going to be a variant on something. And then we're going to kind of tell you how we're giving it a flourish, and then we'll actually be making the drink itself. So there'll also be pet sightings all night.
Well, Adora was trying to get up here, so this is how I punish my cats.
Oh, oh God.
This is a punishment cuddle.
Too.
Anytime she does something bad, I give her punishment cuddles. She hates it, as you can see.
Boy.
This is Adora. She's a little she's an anarchist, a communo anarchist. All right, hold on. All right, keep talking.
Okay, so the first drink we're going to be making is a variation on what's called a French 75. It's a very classic cocktail. It is made with gin, lemon, a simple syrup, and then it's topped off with Prosecco or champagne. So what the pieces that we have tonight, I have St. George Botanivore gin made in California. It's a very herbal, very floral gin. It is one of my favorite gins. We also have, the way we're changing this or giving it its flourish tonight, our simple syrup that we're using is going to be a rosemary simple syrup, just to make it a little bit more holiday-y. And we also have cranberry instead of lemon. So Nathan, the recipe I gave you before actually had lemon in it, but you just need to put cranberry. It's got enough tartness.
Okay.
The lemon. So those of you following in at home, you could put lemon if you want. If you put lemon, I would suggest doing a touch more simple syrup than what we would be putting in this in a moment. So,
Are you using Terrior's St. George's on the recipe too?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Make it out.
Which one do you have?
He said terroir. We have the Botanivore.
Oh, you're using the Terroir. Yeah.
This.
So Nathan has one of the 3. I have another one of the 3. But this is one of my favorite gins. If you don't like gin, this is one of those things, like, for a lot of people, I feel like if you don't like gin, it's usually because you haven't had good gin. A lot of us have bad gin. And if you had good gin, you can begin to appreciate it a lot more. And we'll talk a little bit more about that if we want. But we have our equipments, we have our shaker tins, we have our glasses that we talked about, we have our jigger, which is how we're going to measure all of the things going in our cocktail.
I'm going to go into Babish mode. Oh, look at that.
Popcorn strainer. Muddler, which I don't think I'm going to use this at all tonight. And my swizzle stick, which is good. So just a fancy spoon that's really makes things easy to spin. We also haven't tested how this sounds on live audio, so this might just be
bad. The answer is bad. Yeah, sorry guys, it's bad.
We'll see what happens. But
We can all just stare at my massive hands.
If you do have a jigger, if you don't have a jigger, I'm going to tell you right now, this bigger one is 1.5 ounces. This littler one is 1 ounce. So if I say the big side, I'll try and remember to say 1.5 ounce. If I say little side, I'll try to remember to say 1 ounce. But you have that to look forward to. Okay.
Also, an ounce is 2 tablespoons.
An ounce is 2 tablespoons. And so 1.5 ounces would be
3
tablespoons.
There we go. Look at you guys.
We did it. Okay.
That's that expensive UGA education at work.
That's right. My double dog wife. She did
It's
it.
me.
Okay. I'm going to start with my little shaker tin, and I'm going to end up putting 3 ounces of gin in the small side.
Is this for one or
Small
two?
side. You're doing the big side.
I'm going to put 3 ounces, 2 of the big side.
There we go.
Yeah. But is this for 1 or 2 servings?
This is for 1 serving, so if you want to do it
Really?
twice, yeah, throw 6 ounces in there. Go big, and you're already home, so.
Oh my god.
Hey, come say hello. Anna wants to talk to you.
Okay.
They can't see you.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
it's
this
just my
isn't
crotch
maybe
area.
the best time for Sam to say hello. 'Cause
Here, hold on.
it was you.
Here we go. I got it. We're experts at
You
this.
could wait.
All right.
There she is.
There she is.
Hi, Sam.
Hi. Hello,
Happy
friends.
anniversary, you guys.
Thank you.
It is
Thanks.
Samantha and Nathan's 15-year anniversary, and Samantha is a saint for letting Nathan and I do this tonight. So thank you, Samantha.
Because low key, I did forget it was our anniversary.
Ooh.
This is our to be fair, this is our dating anniversary. So like let's all calm down. Let's calm down.
Okay. Let's get on to the cocktail making.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna use the cranberry. I got the cranberry here. I'm going to put about 2-ish ounces. I'm gonna do a little bit extra. If yours is sweetened, that will be important. Mine is unsweetened tonight, and that's not something I specified. If it's unsweetened, you use the amount of simple syrup that I'm about to use. If it's sweetened, I would use a touch less of the simple syrup. Just a heads up. But we will do 3 ounces. I'm doing 3 ounces. Do 1.5 ounces if you're making a single serving, everybody, of your cranberry juice.
Will you run get me mom's gin?
Yeah.
Mom's gin.
My mom made gin.
That's
It's actually
gin.
pretty good.
I
It is
know.
really
I've had it. It's very good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think mom might be watching this right now. So hello, mom.
Hello, mother. Then I have my simple syrup.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of simple syrup. If you haven't ever made simple syrup before, simple syrup is it's a pretty apt name because all it is 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water. And then if you want to make something fancy with your simple syrup, you can put all sorts of junk in there, like rosemary, which is what we're doing tonight. And just put 1 ounce of your simple syrup in there
Per serving?
per serving. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. See, I'm trying to. So when you have a you don't know this probably,
This
Kristen,
tablespoon threw me off.
but when you have a co-teacher, one of the big things that you can do is just like ask for clarification from your co-teacher because it's actually a very effective teaching strategy.
I like that. Okay, so I've got all these things in here. The next thing we want to do is we want to chill this super quick. If you're using a shaker tin at home, if you're not using a shaker tin at home, I'll just give a few things about shaker tins and I'll shut up about them after this. But they are a real thing. Some people are like, that doesn't do anything. The whole point of the shaker tin is to get it as cold as quick as possible without diluting the thing you just created. So the moment you put ice into this thing, you kind of start a timer, and the timer is like your drink is getting waterier as the time goes on. And so that's something you want to keep in mind if you're going to be putting ice in it. But I'm going to put ice in this. I'm going to throw the top lid on and I'm going to give it a quick shake. When you know it's done after you're shaking, once the outside begins to get frosty, you can actually see the frost on the outside of the shaker tin. So I'm going to throw some ice in here. Anna, will you grab me another fruit glass?
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey Joel, go ahead and mix this down while we do this.
Should we mute?
He's actually got it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit beforehand.
All right. So are we shaking?
Yep, let's shake it. Good stuff.
Listen
We
to our
did
live podcast while we murder your eardrums.
Yeah, please listen to my podcast. I shake things and yell at things, and I just
Ooh, that smells good,
it's
bud.
the worst ever.
Why
Okay,
is it
and then we're gonna
martini
pour
vodka?
with my little hawthorn strainer. I'm gonna pour it right into my coupe glasses. Looks like Nathan's got some nice martini glasses. This is gonna make a beautiful, beautiful pink color.
Look at that.
Greenberry. Look at that.
Look at that.
Then we have our champagne, our prosecco, because
We want to leave a little bit of room here, right?
yeah, you want to leave a little bit of room in the top because we're
Well,
gonna
you
top
can't-
that off.
Legally call it champagne if it's not grown in the Champagne region of France.
That's right. And
I
there's so
think
many
that-
good memes, like champagne memes, that I really love. But yeah,
The
we're
wired
just gonna
version of
throw-
that cake is you can't call it a Vidalia unless it's grown in the Vidalia agriculture area.
Yes.
There you
Sweet
go.
onion.
A local example.
That's a sweet onion.
I did give him a piece
So-
of ice.
A few things if you haven't already opened your Prosecco, or if you already have opened your Prosecco, just a safety thing. When you open it, just keep your thumb on it until you're ready to take it off. Another little easy thing is throw a towel over it and pull the cork out that way, so you're not gonna shoot anybody in the eye. Shoot your eye out, kid.
Or also twist the bottle, not the cork.
Twist the bottle, not the cork.
I find having Andre the Giant-sized hands is really the key here.
Also, please note that our bottle of Prosecco is like 2/3 of the way drunk because it's been a fucking week.
I just got this from Justin, so we're just topping.
Well,
Yes,
I
we're gonna
drank ours
do a
because
quick
I thought we
topping.
had 2 bottles.
And we prepared.
Joel, you're right. I did almost start a fight in Jackson Square, New Year's Eve 2007. I popped a bottle of Prosecco and it hit some Cajun guy. And yeah, this was at the 2007 Rose Bowl. Joel and I, among other people, we were in Sugar Bowl. We were in Jackson Square in New Orleans, and and I got a little overzealous with the champagne.
Ooh.
Are we good here? Is this drinkable?
Yeah, I threw some. That's the end of it. I threw some nice frozen cranberries in there, and I tossed a little bit of rosemary sprig just on the top to get it
I have
real jazzy. You can
real
take
fancy
whatever
boy.
herb you're using, put it in your hand, and give it a smack, and it like wakes it up. And so we talked about it in our beer episode. The experience of the drink starts with your nose. So the moment you start smelling it, you begin experiencing the drink. And so one of many, friends.
All right, here, keep going so we can get your live reaction.
All right.
Hey, here's to you. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I love you.
Love you too.
Happy anniversary!
Oh, that'll get you there.
That'll get you there, friends.
It's all
That is-
booze.
That's all booze.
That is very,
Wow,
very Christmassy.
that's really good.
Very Christmassy.
Yeah, all right, I got what
It's
I came
beautiful.
for.
Oh.
I know, right?
Okay. So we'll take a few moments. Drink your drink, y'all. We'll answer a few Ask CBCs while we're here and
Let's
enjoy
do
these delicious drinks.
Put it
So-
on.
If you have a chat, you can type the recipe in too for people who maybe didn't catch it while you were doing it verbally.
I don't have the.
Thinking of accommodations.
Oh, Joel had the rest, not the recipe, but he had the ingredients the whole time. So that's really exciting. Joel's on top of it. So
What a guy.
I know that you have some of these Ask CBCs, Joel, but you don't have to put them in if you can't. I don't know how you want to do this. Sweet.
Oh man, are you making some antipasta? I need to eat something.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, we
yes.
need to do something.
I've been doing intermittent fasting, but I came home after school and had to go to this grocery store. And so my intermittent fast went until 7 when I ate some pretzels as opposed to 4.
Mm.
So the noise in the background is Samantha making us a little cheese and meat
A
plate.
charcuterie board.
We also have antipasta. It's a
It's a graham cracker.
graham cracker.
Mmm.
Hey,
Fancy.
First grade gingerbread houses this morning.
Mmm.
Mm.
It's so cute, Samantha.
So Samantha, you can help us with this too.
That sounds really cool to me.
I'm gonna send you a picture.
I'm gonna ask the first question real quick. Y'all ready?
Did you see Bro Broma's newest question on there?
I've not yet.
We have a listener who's demanding to know what football play each cocktail is. And since
Ooh.
I read it first, this is a
I'll put you in
real
charge of answering that question for each of the cocktail.
this is a real subtle play. I'm gonna say this is mesh, because mesh is a play where you often get a pretty explosive result, but it is actually a really simple play that uses just underneath routes and usually a tag, a wide receiver screen tag. And this is a very subtle cocktail that will get a touchdown.
Most of the time. Hey, our first question though comes from our producer.
Oh yeah, hit me.
Joel asked 2 questions. I'm gonna ask you a second question though. How would you summarize this season as a Ben Wyatt mood?
I would say, because for me personally, because this has just been a season of me saying, "Hey, this thing's gonna happen," and then that thing happens. I feel like when Ben Wyatt is playing the Grizzle guys in Cones of Dunshire, and they think they've won, and he's like, "Oh, You've learned some flashy tricks, it's true, but you forgot about the essence of the game, the cones. That's my mood, is like just constantly a little like holier than thou dork.
I think this season, my Ben Wyatt mood that I would choose is like his relationship with the accountants. Like those accountants who just like love him so much, and he's like, I don't know, and they get him really worked up, and they're like, I'm gonna work here. I'm finally gonna do it. Just like how football all year is like, you get to Friday and it's about to start, it's about to happen, and then they're like, rather not. And we're like, okay, and we all come back the next week like it never happened. We just keep coming back.
I also would say my alternate answer is that my relationship to this is Ben Wyatt's relationship to Little Sebastian, where everyone is like, oh my God. And he's like, it's a horse that's small. And whenever anyone's like, oh my, the pinkity of college football, I'm just like, yeah, sure. And they're like, it whinnied. And I'm like, yeah, I get it now. I have a t-shirt.
Second question, one question from this person. He's got a lot of questions. Kyle Sargent. I like Manwich Bold more than regular Manwich. Which variation on a theme do you enjoy more than the original?
I'm trying to think about how likely it is that I have a student watching this stream. So I'm gonna do okay. My mother-in-law's watching it. Okay, so this, I would say Mountain Dew Baja Blast is my answer.
Okay. Why do you like Baja Blast?
Bring that over here.
That's fair. I was gonna say every Sprite variant. Every Sprite variant is so good.
Look at this. Look at what my beautiful, lovely wife just made. Now we have charcuterie. Yeah, that's cranberry goat cheese.
I didn't make that. We bought that.
I just said, I'll just whip something up, something
I'll
small.
just put something together.
You kids want something?
That is the most Sam thing. As you know, we always have fruit that is perfectly ripe, and we always have charcuterie available.
This is true. We're
All
gonna
right.
order something.
I have Bulldog food open all
Hell
day.
yeah!
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
we were gonna do Bulldog food, but we went and bought
Oh,
a lot of money worth of on one meal, and also because we're very bougie, Samantha and I bought different types of steak.
Oh,
Happy anniversary!
bless you.
Oh.
Samantha's a little baby. She only likes fillets. All right,
I don't only like fillets. Wonderful.
they're worse than other steaks. All right,
that is a lovely cocktail.
it really is. I
I
mean,
like that one.
I like a 1975. And can we talk very briefly about like why you chose the name you chose?
Yes.
What name did you choose?
This is the French Owen Condon. It's very simple. Owen Condon's number is 75. That's it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we were on the good.
Yeah, and there's only one that I couldn't come up with something clever. So if y'all want to help, the next drink actually, the Cocoa Dance, and I'll tell you why it's called the Cocoa Dance. While you were finishing your drinks and we're getting ready for this next one, would you mind rinsing this out and mixing this? So we did something special with this next one. The next one is a variant on a White Russian. A White Russian is vodka and Kahlua and cream, and it's kind of, I don't care for them because it's just a lot of milk. And I think that's gross, personally. Those of you who are into it,
lactose intolerant.
I'm also lactose intolerant, so that's a thing, I guess.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. But
Oh,
it reminds me of that old Vine with the guy on the steps and he's yelling at his friend Anthony. It's like, stop drinking milk!
that coffee.
Are you a criminal?
Criminal.
That's how I feel about milk. But okay, the reason why I bring it up, we made a beer syrup. The variant we're doing this one, we're doing a beer syrup instead of Kahlua. And we're still doing vodka. We're doing a touch of cream instead of the mixer being cream. But a beer syrup is, I took a very nice stout. It was one from Creature Comforts called Cocoa Dance. And I cooked it down until it was half of its liquid. Then I added a bunch of brown sugar. And so those of you who don't have that prepared, because you shouldn't, and if you do, wow, you should have some coffee. Like we put on the website, we put on Twitter to have some coffee ready for this one. So when I use beer syrup for this, you'll use coffee instead. And that will take the place of that piece. If you want to get real fancy and you have it laying around, you could use some chocolate syrup and rim the glass. And it's still give the same effect as we're about to make here. But
you want to put some
you should get fancy, get super fancy. Make some nice dark beer syrups. I will say, if you're going to make beer subs, don't make it out of any beer. Try your best to do browns and stouts and big boozy beers.
Yeah,
The
like
beer.
if
Yeah.
you're gonna do like a terrapin, you would want to do like a wake and bake or their peanut butter or something like that. The peanut butter.
Is Nathan cutting out for you, Joel, or is that just me? Okay. Cool.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it's because Anna's run away. Anna has my other earbud.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Hey, do you know who that is? That's Peter. Peter is my Peter. I love you so much, and I am so appreciative that you're here. Peter is one of the best people in the world, and the two things he will die on the hill is that he doesn't know what football is, and he's never watched a Star Wars movie because of the pact he's made that kept him ageless.
So Joel just said we had a Twitch comment from Morning Rises saying he can't wait to reverse engineer what a football game is based on this cocktail conversation. So we'll talk all about what a football game is through this cocktail conversation.
Also, Peter, I want you to know I love you deeply. I just want to profess that on.
Okay, so got the vodka. Nathan has actually Wildly vodka for this. I have Tito's because I had it laying around because vodka doesn't get drank in our house. Drank.
Wildly makes, I think, the best beer in America. So I'm excited to taste this.
They actually won an award recently, so
I did.
So the thing about vodka, y'all, I want to talk about
A rock
just a
glass,
quick
huh?
moment. Vodka, yeah, we'll do a rocks glass. Vodka, the less it tastes like anything, the better it is. And so, and I know that sounds asinine, but it's true. Good vodka is just supposed to taste like nothing. And so you want to use vodka in drinks where you have big, bold flavors already, where it's not really taking away from the flavors you have present. So if you have stuff that has like really great flavor, like this beer syrup I've created, then you want to use something more neutral, like vodka. Tito's is pretty straight across the board, like pretty simple. It's not bad at all. So I would always suggest Tito's. Nathan can comment on Wild Leap. Those of you who don't care for vodka, you might not have vodka. You can make this with bourbon. I made it with bourbon yesterday, and it was outstanding. I love it.
We had a Twitter comment from Kale, who is Kale Self, who is my old sousaphone instructor at UGA, that he would refuse to use vodka. So Kale, go ahead. I know you have Kale makes like real serious cocktails, so I know you have 45 types of bourbon.
Oh yeah, use bourbon in this. Like a nice chocolatey coffee bourbon is outstanding. So I made this cocktail list for folks that might not know a lot of cocktails. Like very accessible, very simple, a lot of sweetness in a lot of these. But we'll start by pouring the vodka in our shaker tin.
2 shots of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
Where is
We actually don't have to shake this one because everything's cold now. I'll reverse. I'm going back. Start with your rocks glass instead. This is just fine.
I lost my shaker tin.
Uh-oh, you don't need a shaker tin.
Oh, I don't. Oh,
Yeah, we lied to you. Sorry.
I lied to you. Fill those rocks glasses just with ice. This will be super simple. You can totally shake this. It's just unnecessary. So I've got my drinks ready. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have your shaker tin ready just to tumble these, to pour from your rocks glass into your shaker tin and back. That's just easier stirring. But we will start with our vodka. We'll do 2 ounces of vodka, which was what?
4 tablespoons.
4 tablespoons.
I don't know why you're laughing.
I know. I'm
Measurement.
laughing because I forgot the measurement. Okay. 2 ounces for each. Not 2 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons. Pouring those into our rocks. La 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 la. Okay. Then we have those of you at home, you have coffee for this one. We have our beer syrup. You're going to do 1.5 ounces of this good stuff, which would be 6 tablespoons. No,
you'll get there.
3 tablespoons. I keep forgetting. I can't do math on the fly, y'all.
Yes, you can.
Not like this.
Don't lie to people. You're very good at math on the fly.
Oh boy. Okay. So we've got all that goodness. Oh boy, right.
It's gonna be a sloshy night.
It's going to be a sloshy night, she says. We'll go ahead and tumble this real quick.
Go ahead and do what?
Go ahead and tumble it into your. You have your shaker tin ready.
Do you want to explain what that is? Just when you pour it back and forth, right?
Moving from one glass to another, so you can kind of incorporate all those elements.
It's like stirring, but without a spoon.
Yeah,
but fancy.
Yes,
but fancy.
But fancy.
The verb is different. It's tumbling.
And then you can use creamer for this one. Will you grab the creamer that's over there, please? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't snapping at you. Thank you. Now the creamer, the half and half.
It's in front of you.
I won't have a lot in there. Ah! I'm going to the fridge. Everything's falling apart.
It's a crisis.
We're on drink 2.
Merry
Okay.
crisis.
Okay.
Merry Chrysler.
So I have already sweetened creamer, and so I'm going to use this already sweetened creamer to put in here. If you're just using a half and half creamer, just put a touch of your simple syrup that you use from your French 75 in this to kind of liven it up. That will, a lot of times, like a little bit of simple syrup will bring out like fruit notes and chocolate notes in your coffee. What are you doing with it?
If you want half and half, just use half cream and half milk. Sorry.
Hey, to be fair, Anna, I do have heavy whipping cream, and I'm doing that. I'm doing half.
You're doing heavy cream?
I think it's better.
I think this is good stuff. You can do that in yours.
How much is we doing total?
Okay. We're doing 2 ounces in this.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay.
Instead of half and half, I'm doing an ounce of heavy whipping cream and an ounce of milk.
If you could see my hand camera, if I had a hand camera, you'll see that I just dropped my jigger right into the glass. What a good time this is. So if you had a taller glass, like a Collins glass, it could be really fun. Like, this is a really cool cocktail, the way it kind of like swirls with the creamer and stuff. I think it's really neat, personally.
Do you mix it once you put the cream in, or?
I usually just give it a quick stir to incorporate everything.
But not a tumble.
Just a quick stir. Just because I like to see all of the creamer kind of incorporate in there. Man, that was a struggle.
It's only drinking over 2. Thanks, babe.
And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, man.
You like it?
Oh man. Oh.
Oh, what did you just do?
I dribbled.
Oh.
It's not chocolate.
We are a mess. That's delicious. That's better than what you made the other night.
That is better. Oh, wow. That's really good.
Is it because you used a different creamer?
Yeah. What'd you say, Joel?
You want to show everybody the creamer that you used?
Joel's about to go get somebody. Yeah. Yep. So I use Chobani. I like this Chobani creamer. They have a nice like sweet cream. This is just a vanilla. If you make a beer syrup, you can add things like vanilla. I used, instead of just white sugar, I used a brown sugar. It makes it really rich. You can use beer syrup. If you cook it longer, it gets thicker. And you can use it on things like pancakes. It's super good. Super, super good.
That's very good.
That's very good. That's super, super good.
That tastes like chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm. That's chocolate milk, y'all.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It has some creaminess to it.
It's got some creaminess though. But I think this is enough of a White Russian to call it a White Russian variant, but it's still different enough to where I will drink this.
Yeah. There's a lot of you get kind of the piney hoppiness in the malt from the beer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as much of as like a sweet bomb as your traditional White Russian, which is just basically sugar.
Yeah. I like this beer syrup a lot, and I'm not somebody who likes to drink stouts and big boozy beers, and so this is a really great way to enjoy that, I think. Okay.
Can you bring me one of those little pieces, the little cracker things with some goat cheese on it?
All right. You ready for the big one?
Yeah. Do you want to take a couple of questions while we let people process this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Their
all digest and process this.
Their limbic system.
I'm going to come back to this question actually. So I'm going to ask a question from. I'm going to ask a question from Abby. So Abby wants to know, and this is something that is near and dear to my heart. Which love storyline do you hate the most in Love Actually?
Oh.
And I'm gonna we're gonna start with hate. I want you to tell me hate and love. What do you hate the most? What do you love the most?
I also want to hear this answer from Samantha because we have some Love Actually peg.
Anna has some takes too, so we'll go in.
I didn't think about this though.
Yeah, take it.
Which
Take
one
it.
do you hate?
Oh, that's easy though.
I'm not into the Keira Knightley one.
See, I really dislike the Keira Knightley
That's my least favorite.
love. It's gross.
Here comes-
Do you mean the Keira Knightley one, like with?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
unrequited-
obviously,
with
yeah,
husband,
and
not
he
with
that's
what-
Shuya Tuafor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause he's
Yeah,
awful.
it's gross.
It's awkward.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I mean, my number one. I mean, and then also, and I do want to just yell about this briefly. 2005's Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched it like 25 times this year, and that's not an exaggeration.
It's not. We watch it. We might watch it later.
Like, no, we're gonna watch it tonight. We've
Oh,
said it out loud.
Okay.
After seeing Keira Knightley at her romance zenith, to then watch, like, first of all, they put her in some atrocious hats just to start with.
Did you know they put
Also-
Emma in a fat suit?
No shit.
Yeah, I just read that.
What? Oh,
They do
and
what?
then
They
also,
wanted to make her look dowdy and.
I know, and Emma Thompson was post Much Ado About Nothing, where she's such a smoke show. God, I love her.
Fat suit?
What?
You said they put her in a fat suit?
Yeah, so she would look more dowdy, like Emma Thompson in that movie,
Yes.
like Alan
I
Rickman's
just read
wife.
that.
You thought you were talking about Keira Knightley.
No.
No, she doesn't have an ounce of fat on her.
No,
No, she weighs like 95 pounds in that movie.
I was like, she wears crop tops the whole time.
We would have known.
Also, I think a better love story would have been if the guy was in love with her husband, and then that's why he was doing all that stuff. But this is like the pre-queer renaissance in the movies.
This was 2003.
Also, there's so many fat jokes in Love Actually that makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, so that brings me to my favorite one is the what's his name? No,
Oh, Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. Yeah, and the Portuguese lady.
Yeah.
I love it
Yeah,
so
me
much.
too.
And also when she takes off her clothes to jump in the lake and she has a bunch of tattoos. When that came out in 2003, I was just like, oh, I feel something.
That was Nathan's awakening.
It was like Ed Pontillier about to walk into the ocean. That was an awakening joke for the English majors out there.
Got it.
My least favorite love story
I don't
is
know.
going to have to be, if not the Keira Knightley one, I really dislike. Oh, what?
Don't say Laura Linney.
No, that one's heartbreaking. The Laura
She's
Linney
a
love story is
masterpiece classic.
She is a masterpiece classic. I love the Laura Linney love story, and I like to believe that her and Carl ended up together one day.
Same.
Hey.
Huh.
You know who Carl's most famous role outside of Love Actually? He was Xerxes in 300. Like,
Are you for real?
yeah, painted gold. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Carl.
I saw 300 on his bio, but I didn't know that was what he did. What are you laughing at?
Pivoting slightly away from that, tell everybody who you thought Laura Linney's husband was.
You guys, everybody right now, if you're listening, Google Laura Linney's husband.
Oh, I saw your thing.
It's Sinbad. It's not actually Sinbad. Sinbad.
Okay. Because for a second I was like, the Sinbad?
No, it's.
How would
I
you
know,
know where
right?
parachute hits at all times? If I was
That
married
was
to Sinbad,
fine.
Different guy,
Yeah.
same birth name.
I would just, if I was married to Sinbad the comic, I would just wear massive zoot suits at all times so
All the
that
time.
everyone knew I was his, that I belonged to him. Yeah. That's what I would do because what an honor.
But no, I really, really love. I think one of my favorite love stories of the
You
entire
said
movie.
what was your other least favorite is what you were going
I
to say.
know. I was trying to figure out my least favorite. I really dislike the Keira Knightley one.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That's fine. That's the right answer.
But my favorite, it's a toss up. I really love the manager and what's his face? Billy Mack.
Oh,
yeah.
Years, even though he's disgusting, but I really love how he comes around. He's like, "Oh, I love you all along." Ugh."
he's your favorite character. What do you
He's
mean?
my
He's
favorite
disgusting.
character. Billy Mack is my favorite character.
Crazy.
And then it's a toss up between him and Liam Neeson and Judge and Reed.
Oh,
Also, one of my favorite Easter eggs in Love Actually is how he begins calling him in the beginning of the movie Daniel, but by the end of him, he calls him Dad. And every time it makes me cry every time. But
No, my favorite is that he says, he's like, would you ever date anyone again? And then Liam Neeson says, who does he say he date? Heidi Klum.
Claudia Schiffer.
Claudia Schiffer. And then Claudia Schiffer is the girl
Mhm.
that he meets at the end. I love that. Carol.
Yeah, it's cute.
A follow-up question that is not related, but it's another Abby question. After the pandemic is over, what is the first thing you want to do that you haven't done since pre-pandemic?
Go to the movies.
We're gonna go out
Go
to
to
eat.
a restaurant.
We're gonna go out to eat and order like too much food. Like, you know, when you go to a restaurant and a bar and you order, like, we're gonna go to World Famous and get every appetizer and then 2 burgers,
Mm-hmm.
like the pretzel bites.
Even though we've gotten them ordered, like
Yeah,
having
it's
to
just
go
not
is
the
great.
same.
I mean,
It's not the same.
Oh, you know the other thing,
it's not the
and I'm really missing this because this is this time of year. Usually at the end of the semester when we have like a half day, Peter and I, who is my work spouse, will go to like Hilo and just eat beer, like pub food for like 8 hours. Just
I
eat
joined you
salty
guys
papas.
last year. It was awesome.
I do miss Hilo
Mhm.
specifically.
Salty papas, dude. I would eat, and then that's the sandwich that is just a fried block of cheese.
Ugh.
Thank
Yes.
Yes.
Samantha says, ugh.
No,
Yeah.
and like a good
No, yeah,
Oh.
Sam gets that every time.
I love that.
I don't think she's ever had any other entree on the menu.
No,
I
I'm
jokingly
really
said on
gonna got one
Discord-
from the
Oh,
cheese,
yeah.
the-
I
yeah.
didn't understand the wording on the menu for that sandwich, and so the first time I got it, I accidentally got the pork and the fried slab of cheese.
Oh,
Either or, but I had a great time.
did they look at you like you committed murder when you ordered?
They
that?
did. They were like, "You want what?" And I repeated myself, and they were like, "Okay." They didn't charge me extra. They just made it, which was great.
Well, because they thought you were going to die, and as it was your.
Like, this man won't be able to pay anyway. He'll be dead.
All right, you want to do some smooth?
Yeah, I want you to teach me how to make some of this eggnog, my boy.
Okay, so this is.
Mhm.
Where the? Oh no. Okay, sorry. This is. I love this stuff so much, and Samantha does not like eggnog, so I'm going to be making this journey on my own.
Smooth.
Smooth with a V. Now, I want to say at the outset, this is not a me recipe. This recipe comes to me from Ben Vasco, who is currently the tuba professor at Valdosta State. One of the meanest dudes to ever pick up a sousaphone. That dude's just ridiculous. And this actually comes from, like,
You mean like mean like he's good at it? Or
oh
like,
yeah, like
I
he's one of the
mean,
bad. No, he's the nicest person in the world, but he's also one of the baddest dudes to ever pick up a sousaphone. He's ridiculous. And this credit to this goes to Grandma Olden from Kerrville, Texas, by way of Stephen Vogel, by way of Ben Vasco, to me. This is an excellent eggnog recipe. You can make it boozy or non-boozy. It is a little bit different from a traditional eggnog because what you're going to end up with is sort of like what we would think of as eggnog with like almost like a lacy, like whipped topping. And when you spoon it up, you're going to get a layer of eggnog and a layer of whipped cream. And that's the goal of Smooth. Now, Smooth is deeply dangerous, and I'm going to be doing the smallest version of the Smooth recipe that I have.
Same.
If you go just be careful. If you make this non-alcoholic, great. If you put the booze in it, you have to be at peace with your gods. Go ahead and like get your will ready. All right.
I'm ashamed that we're doing this third and not final.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, we're gonna do like a hot toddy.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you want to do that. Okay. So we're gonna start with 4 eggs. So we're gonna go ahead and get out. We need some eggs for this recipe. We need whatever booze you're gonna use. I'm using here. Let me go ahead and switch to my hand cam here. For this recipe, you're gonna need.
Sponsored by.
Yeah. We're going to need a smaller bowl and a bigger bowl. You're going to need milk. Sure, that's milk. Heavy whipping cream. And then you're going to need bourbon and rum. Now, you can use whatever kind of bourbon you want. I'm using Old Forester because that's what Justin bought. I'm using Baku rum, a very, very good brand of rum. If you want cheap rum that actually tastes like rum, it's very good. I'm using light rum because that's what I have. Dark rum is really great with this. Spiced rum is great with this. I've had it with gingerbread rum. I've had it with cinnamon whiskey. You can really like kind of do whatever you want when it comes to the booze. But usually traditionally you're going to do rum and whiskey. So we're going to start with 4 eggs. We're going to need sugar. And we're going to need some cup measures, so half cup measures.
Will you grab those? Yeah, what? Half cup measures? Yeah. Are we doing egg whites, Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna need egg. You're gonna need the yolk and the egg, or the yolk and the white. So here, let me move get a clearer. So this recipe is way easier if you have an immersion blender or a hand blender. It's still doable without it, but it takes a lot more time. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna separate our yolks and our whites. Okay, so eventually. Shut up. Eventually, we're going to move the yolks into the whites. So what we have the whites is the bowl that we're going to end up in. So you want your whites to go into the bigger bowl. So you're going to have two bowls, the bigger of which gets the white. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that. My sort of traditional egg separating technique is pretty traditional. You just want to get it sort of gently in half and not destroy it. And you want to try not to break the yolk. And when you have it in half like this, you're going to just sort of start pouring the yolk from one side of the shell to the other. And you'll pretty much get most of the white out. So we want our whites in the bigger of the two bowls. So that's what really matters there.
Some people, I think, is wild is that some people will throw the egg in their hand like a rake.
An
Let
easier,
egg whites roll
to
through.
me, an easier way to do it is just to crack the egg in the bowl, but carefully so you don't break the yolk, and then get the yolk out with your fingers.
Anna's wild. Anna's wild as hell.
That is wild as hell.
It's not that bad.
All right, Anna, I want you to dig your hand.
Okay.
A slotted spoon. Joel, our producer,
So that
Joel,
spoon is good too.
is telling us the slotted spoon also is great. So anyway,
It's
you're going to
literally not hard.
you
You
can
just
do it
reached
however
into this
you
bowl
want.
of egg whites like it was a man's chest and pulled his heart out.
You can do it however you want, whatever barbaric method you want to use. Oh, I'm going to have to use the barbaric method because my giant finger just really messed up this egg white. So here we go. We're going to this is the Anna method, and it does feel deeply wrong on a pretty hard level, but
I
there we
think
go.
it's deeply satisfying.
Pretty easy.
Put that down.
So going to wash your hands after this for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'm going to have to food rake. I did wash my hands before this. Come here, you beautiful
Where are
boy.
you?
So anyway, however you do it, you want to end up with your egg whites in the bigger of the two bowls. Are we getting like mother-in-law feedback right now?
Yeah, what's happening?
What are the this egg talk? Okay.
Oh, no, feedback
All
from
right,
mother.
Austin. All
He
right.
said.
Like comments about how you separate eggs.
And you want to make sure you don't get any.
Polarizing issue.
Austin said, Anna, I am screaming this egg talk. He like a good he's laughing.
Oh.
So I'm just getting the pieces of eggshell that I inevitably break into this because as we've previously mentioned several times on the stream, I have the hands of a bulldozer and not of a man.
Is that something you say a lot?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to live with hands like catcher's mitts, I'll tell you. All right, so we've got our. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. We have our yolks, the smaller of the two bowls. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get our immersion blender, and you got to be careful. And I know if you've ever used an immersion blender, you know this. But you really want to err on the side of less power because these things will throw crap everywhere. Yes, I think we might have the same one or a very similar one. So you want your immersion blender with your whisk setting, or just a hand blender with your whisk.
We do, yes.
We have that.
Okay, so
I don't use the immersion blender
It's
often.
okay, the thing is though, the last time I used the whisk setting, we ended up with chocolate milkshake all over the kitchen. Do you remember that?
so
I can't work.
I'm gonna say this out loud to Justin and to everyone. The key to this is on your immersion blender, you want to start at 1, start on your lowest setting.
We don't have numbers.
We have a low and a high.
Okay, go to low, and you want to start with it in the bowl. Okay, but first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put half a cup of sugar into the egg yolks, and we are not beating to stiff peaks or anything. That comes later. We've got a lot of stiff peaks in this recipe.
Anna's taking over.
Okay, yeah, Thank you for joining me on this journey. So
we're putting sugar in there now or in a moment?
half a cup of sugar into the egg yolks. Okay. So here's my sugar. Here's my yolks. Boom. Just like that. Now we're not going to stiff peaks. What we want to do is just get this incorporated. We want to just make sure that we don't have any grittiness in any part of the mixture. So you want to go into the mixture, just straight in. I usually try to pop the yolks first. And then on the lowest setting, yeah, see, it's always, ooh.
Oh, we're whipping the yolks, not the
Yeah,
whites.
on the other way.
Half a cup in the yolks. Yep.
Sugar.
And you can actually just do this part by hand. Just you want to get the grittiness as low as possible. And you're going to end up with this like weird sweet yolk thing going on.
Weird sweet yolk.
Yeah. So you're going to end up sort of like just, I think we might call that ribbon stage.
Put weird sweet yolk on the list of things you've heard from your college football podcast.
So this is sort of like where we are here. We're incorporated. We're not,
Thank you.
we're as grit as not very gritty at all. And you might want to do it by hand a little bit, and then you just hit it a couple of times so you get to your ribbon stage here. Okay, so now we are going to do the whites. So what we're going to do with the whites is we're going to do half a cup of sugar in the whites. If you do this, what you want to do, you either want to sort of pre-mix the sugar into the whites before you start blending it, or the dry sugar will go everywhere, or you want to just like add the sugar a little bit at a time. Because if you stick an immersion blender into dry sugar, you're going to get like a sugar cloud. So again, oh boy, that was my. So we are going for stiff peaks here, and this is the part where normally we would fast forward because it's going to take a while. So what I would do if you have multiple settings on your immersion blender, what you want to do is like get it going at low, and then just like you want to get up. So I'm going to sort of do a little bit of combining so I don't have any dry sugar, and then I'm going to start it low.
When you say stiff peaks, Nathan, before we go on mute, tell the folks at home what a stiff peak is.
Okay, so what we're going for is we want to be able to pull out of this white and pull up a peak of white that stands up. We're basically making like a light meringue is what we're doing here.
Another way to tell if your peaks are, sorry, keep going.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Another way to tell if your peaks are stiff is if you can take your bowl and flip it over, and your whites don't drop on you.
Give it the old grill and chill.
Don't do that if you're not sure, because then you'll end up with a head full of it.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So we start at 1, and then we just slowly move that up, and then we just do this.
Oh my God.
Now I'm going to stop briefly so that you don't have audio for anymore. And I will say the point of this is you're going to try to get as much air as possible, so you don't want to do what I'm doing, which is to stop in the middle. So you just get it going. This is going to take a while, I just want to say. So great audio in the meantime. A lot of air. We kind of have lace. Turbo. There's a turbo button. out, we're getting kind of a drizzle, but there's a lot more air in it than there was. So let's go to
See here, Nathan is beating the egg, giving him the business.
oh boy. So yeah,
Big
this is a discount.
You can also use one of these.
Gotta always be making that content.
What's up?
Then I gotta always be making that content. I got some picks.
Oh, sweet. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
We had a little bit of a spill here. A lot here.
Part of it. Part of it.
Or what? Yeah, I know. We're going all the way to. Oh, yeah. Well, they don't actually have to be ribbon staged. They just have to be incorporated. They're not ribbon staged. I get. I'll beat the egg yolks here more in a second. The key about getting stiff peaks. Wow, you can see I'm sort of. The key of getting stiff peaks is just that you have to believe, because you're going to feel like it's never going to happen, and you have to just keep doing it. But you got to just keep going.
I love that we. This is the podcast that became a video show that had the courage and the faith to make eggnog live on video.
So we're getting there. You can see we're getting a lot thicker, a lot creamier. As we pull out, we're getting a lot slower of a ribbon.
I'm also making Anna another one of the cocoa dances.
Hey, can you grab me a rag so I can clean up all this? Yeah, can you maybe... Here, will you take a turn so I can wash my hands? Thank you, love you.
You want a turbo?
Yeah, well, I've either of us.
Turbo!
Like, flat up and down. Yeah, you're not. I say stiff peaks, but you're not gonna get to meringue with this. Like,
said stiff peaks, but you're not gonna get to the ring. What you said.
I've never made meringue,
It's the stiffest of peaks.
but I do want to make meringue.
Do it.
Do they watch? They don't.
I'm sure they do. Do y'all watch the Great British Bake Off?
What's up?
Do y'all watch the Great British Bake Off?
Yeah. So you can see where.
Okay, we just had a conversation about it.
Have they seen Kimbo this season with Raoul? And
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah. So you can see, like, if I can show you here, we're getting like a lot sort of slower of a drizzle. So we're just gonna keep going.
I feel like I'm in a race.
Feels that way. It does feel like a race. I'm gonna get the next process. Don't hope flat. How will we know you believe?
What was up, Justin? Did you say something to me?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of talking. I'm filling the space.
All right, yeah. You vamp. Joel, just mute me, and then Justin, just start talking.
That's a lot of pressure. Fine. Let's see. Let's check some other questions. I'll check some other questions while we're waiting here. If you could pick any dream job to do for a day, what would it be? That comes from Abby. Dream job? Hard to say. Like, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm living my dream right now. And so it's hard for me to dream of other jobs. I just want to, I love working in a job where I get to be with people, I get to help people, I get to see people, and it's different every day, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I guess if I were to choose something random, it would be something like,
I mean, look how special meringue we already are.
I would want to be like a crane operator or something wild, like a bulldozer driver, construction in general. That sounds like it's a very naive thing to say.
All right, so hey, Joel, will you unmute me if you have me muted? Okay, so one thing I will say is you're not actually making a meringue. So when you get it real thick like this, where you're getting sort of like almost a frosting texture, you actually can just stop there. I just like to get it all the way to, because that makes it, the more you do this, the creamier it's going to be ultimately, right? But if you're doing this by hand and you get to sort of a like soft icing kind of thing where you're getting, it's very thick and you're getting soft peaks, then you're fine, because you're not making an actual meringue.
We're almost at soft peaks.
We're almost at soft peaks, Hannah says.
Jesus.
Also, I want to say one of my favorite things that has come of this is Joel said in our Discord server, lo-fi egg beating montage.
You can see, let me see if I can put this up. We're getting like soft peaks at this point, and I'm probably just going to stop here in a second. You don't have to go all the way to full peaks.
The stiffest of peaks. That's right. It's a shame that our producer Joel, which is a sentence I never thought I'd be able to say, is in our ear and saying the best stuff, and none of y'all are going to hear. A lot of behind the scenes, just the man in the ear. Don't look. Don't ruin the magic.
So you can see we're at the sort of soft peak stage. And in the interest of having better video, I'm going to stop there. You can go all the way to stiff peaks, but you can see this is much thicker than it was. We're not like kind of slopping around in here. Now, one thing I am going to do, I probably didn't beat my yolks enough. We want them a little smoother. you're not going all the way. If you were a baker, and Peter pointed this out, I think, and he's absolutely who was it? Oh, okay. Well, one of my baker friends pointed this out. We're not actually going all the way to ribbon stage if you're a real baker. We just want to smooth out the yolks so we don't have any grittiness in the final product. Right. So I'm gonna rinse off this and I'm gonna do the yolks a little bit more here. Oh my God, you made a pan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna be great. Okay. The whole goal of this is just to get a lot of air into the eggs. So if you get it to soft peak stage, you're good.
What about twin peaks?
I'm like a very competitive person, so I'm like, yo, stick peaks or bust.
Twin peaks is when you get murdered while you're making this episode, this recipe. Aha, you see that? That was
I like that.
that was a
Laura
topical,
Palmer, etc.
topical to a show from the '90s that I've never watched.
Here we go. Go. One more time.
I think Anna's singing in sync.
What?
That's in sync. Is that in sync?
Samantha is currently
Fine.
Samantha is playing Animal Crossing New Horizon. The snow just started sticking. If you haven't played today, it's very.
Woo! I do want to play that. Also, those of you at home that need it, Anna and I are definitely taking our lactates before drinking this. 100%.
I got the
I want this drink. This drink has milk and heavy cream in it.
But that drink had cream in it.
Just a touch. That's great.
Stiff peaks.
Y'all, these peaks are so stiff over here.
The key to this is all right. We're at top peaks. I'm stopping. The key to this is what you want to do is get a lot of air in it, and you don't want to add more sugar because that's just going to weigh it down. If it's not working, you need to beat it more, not add more sugar. That is a mistake I have made. So
Spatula back.
I'm gonna beat my yolks a little bit more, get them a little smoother. All right. Haha. All right. So, Anna, Justin, are y'all ready? Or are y'all going stiff peaks or bust?
What?
Yeah, what?
I thought you said stiff peaks or bust.
Are you done? Are you ready to move on? Or are you going to keep the bus?
Just give me like one.
All right.
We're live right now. You gotta... All right. Is that a good whip it?
What did Abby?
Just beat it.
What did you say?
Just beat it.
Of course you did.
Anna's done it. The tip is the peaks.
There it is. All right. We good over there, Brace?
Oh yeah, we're good.
No, I need to do the yolks just a touch more.
She's gonna hit the yolks one more time. One more again.
So
But the egg whites are they're good.
So what we're gonna want now is we're gonna want a rubber spatula. So what you want to do first before this next step is just sort of like scrape down the edges here. If you have stick peaks, it's gonna be less, but I didn't go all the way there because I don't want to make you guys watch me beat eggs for another 10 minutes or whatever. So what we're gonna do is use some Schitt's Creek language. We're gonna fold in the yolks. And you want to
What do you mean fold in?
So when we say fold in, what we mean is very gently stir. And the whole point is we just put a crap ton of air into our egg whites, and we want to just a little bit at a time, start incorporating the yolks, sort of gently stirring them around. And we're going to start to get that sort of like eggnog color here. A little bit this time, and we just gently. Yeah. Okay. A bit more. I wonder if we had a Discord patron who was thinking of doing this with quail eggs, and I wonder if it falls through.
It was Broma.
It was Broma. So we want to just basically get as much of this out as we can, and we're going to end up with our incorporated eggs and whites back together again as they were intended to be. And we're going to end up with something that looks like this. A little bit, you know, real thicker. You're getting some ribbons when you pull it up. If you've gone all the way to stiff peaks, then you're going to get something a little thicker, obviously. We're going to just fold in the yolks. All right.
This is dangerous, y'all.
Yeah.
This is going to be so good.
This is a recipe that takes some stick-to-iting it, you know, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is for this, this is a 4-serving or 8-serving recipe. So we are going to do 1 cup of rum.
Yours is 4, actually. 4, 8, and 12 are the measurements.
All right, whatever it is. For the smallest version, we're going to do 1 cup of rum. Here.
I got Ron Grandpa.
Do you want to watch me fold?
So, you know, the thing about it is you want to keep using the fold technique as you add this rum. So we're going to try to just not really, we want to kind of pour it from a kind of low down to the ground or to the actual mixture a little bit at a time, gently folding until we get it all in there.
So beautiful.
It is really pretty.
Okay, so like while we're folding out though, I have a question.
Yes.
I get where the egg part of eggnog comes from.
What's the nog?
What is the nog?
What's nog?
I'm guessing because this has raw eggs in it that this is some real old English bullshit, but I don't know.
Hey Google, what's nog?
Aren't you an English teacher?
I'm not a middle English teacher, Anna.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do a cup and a half. Oh, okay, yeah. We're gonna do a cup and a half of milk. So, again,
Give me a cup of rum.
Yeah.
Cup of rum, cup and a half of milk. There's a cup.
Have you not done your bourbon yet, or no?
We have not. So, cup of rum, cup and a half of milk. We're gonna do this in stages. I believe I have never talked to the beautiful grandmother who gave us this recipe, but I'm pretty sure that the thought here is you don't want to cut all of the air out of your eggs with the alcohol too quickly. So you want to go rum, milk, and then we're going to do our cup of bourbon.
This is going to mess us up. I am afraid.
That is true. There's a reason it's called smooth. So now we're going to do our cup of bourbon.
No, wait.
Hold
I
on,
need to fold. Still folding.
What did we put in a second ago? Milk or heavy cream?
All right, so we go 1 cup of rum, cup and a half of milk, cup of bourbon.
Okay.
That if you're keeping track at home, that is a pint of alcohol in 4 servings.
Oh boy, a pint of liquor.
Yeah. So we keep stirring. Again, you should still be seeing like air bubbles, right? Still getting, even with all this dilution, you should still be getting sort of a little bit of
just like
air bubbly.
Pour it in for me.
All right, so
side.
So this is the part. This is sort of the smooth difference. This is what separates smooth from your other nogs. So what you have right here in front of you is pretty close to what you would have for eggnog. Now, what makes smooth different is we are going to put half of our heavy cream into this. So we're going to put half of our heavy cream. So that would be, we're going to put half of a cup of heavy cream in here. Once we've got our whiskey, our rum, and our milk, so we get a half cup in, half cup of heavy cream. Stir that in. So at this point, you're getting this right here is your pretty typical eggnog. What kind of moves smooth up to a higher level of being, to like your energy state from just your typical eggnog, is
do it very gently.
We are going
I want a bigger bowl.
If you have an immersion blender, it probably came with one of these, like just a plastic cup, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take this plastic cup or another high-walled container, and we're going to make some whipped cream, okay? So we're going to take, so we put our whipped cream in, our heavy cream into this. So this is like your typical, sort of eggnog right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do another half cup.
A little bit
I
more
usually
milk.
do a pretty heavy half cup. I might go closer to 3/4, depending on how Leslie Nope you want this to be. You're going to go between half and 3/4. Yeah, I'm sorry. I asked for whipped cream. Excuse me, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay.
So,
like, you have the recipe?
so
We just finished doing the
I got it right
regular milk.
all right. So you do the milk. So you're going to do half a cup of bourbon.
It's a full cup of bourbon, it says. Is that all right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. A cup of bourbon.
Okay.
My bad. A cup of bourbon. Fold that in. Then you want to fold in half a cup of heavy cream. And then you fold that in. Are y'all with me at this point?
Yeah. I got the
No, we
recipe
haven't
here.
gotten the cream, but we do have the recipe in front of us. Justin's just dumping it in like he doesn't care.
All right, you gotta fold. You gotta fold. Part of this is folding. We gotta be gentle. Yeah, it would have taken 20 eggs, and I don't know how quail eggs whip up, so we might have been whipping eggs for like an hour. Yeah. All right, so what we want to do, so half a cup, we're going to go a cup of bourbon, half a cup of heavy cream, fold it in.
A half cup.
Oh, do we want to have, while we're waiting for them, let's do a brief appearance from cats. This is a cat appearance. Pause. This is Adora.
Ready?
She is Demon. Where's Zuko?
That's good. Thank you. Yeah, keep going. Just meant that drizzle rate was good. The rate of the drizz.
The good drizzle rate.
Okay, so the key to this is we are going to make something pretty close to what you would think of as traditional whipped cream, but we want it to be a little thinner because we're going to incorporate this whipped cream that we make into all right, how we doing over there, Braids?
Oh, we're good.
I didn't
We
want
just
to
did
be
that.
To make the whipped cream.
Okay, so we're gonna do. This is probably between half and a 3/4 cup of heavy cream, depending on how whipped cream you want it. Use, your mileage may vary. You can also make some extra whipped cream if you just want extra whipped cream on top. I've been told to make extra whipped cream, so I'm going to in a second. So the key to this is we are not making.
Should I make extra whipped cream?
Yes.
Listen, hold on. Listen. You are not making traditional whipped cream. You do not want to go to like whipped cream out of the vat level. You don't want to go to whipped cream. You want to go a little bit softer because it has to incorporate into this, and you don't want it to curd up as much. So I will show you where I normally go. So just like so, right? And we just.
Oh, this is something from a Discord member. Apparently, noggins were something that alcohol was served in the 17th century.
Oh, noggins just makes me think of heads.
Noggin.
So now I'm just envisioning severed heads. Cool, eggnog. Savage.
Hey, also at this point, if you want to get real fancy, you can add a little bit of vanilla extract and maybe like half a tablespoon of sugar. If you want real sweet decadent, you can add a touch of sugar and some vanilla extract here.
Touch of sugar and vanilla extract. I have lumps in my nog.
Vanillas.
In an effort to be as decadent as possible on stream, I'm going to do that. We're not even doing a full tablespoon of sugar. Just
Like a half tablespoon of sugar.
You don't have much sugar left.
Really?
you can do it without. You just gotta beat it more.
No, I was more concerned for my baking needs. We have enough sugar. What's your favorite cookie to bake, Joel? Joel's Christmas cookie signature is Jammy Dodgers. Is that like a jam, like sandwich cookie and shortbread? I do a jam thumbprint and shortbread with almond extract.
It's just milk.
Oh,
Some chocolate.
I think I might have tried to do this with just milk. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
If you do it with just milk, it will not work. So you'll know.
that's
I was like, this should really be whipping up at this point. I'm not sure why it's not. I was like, oh, I poured it out of the milk. Okay. So take 2 on the whip.
We have our whip.
Or milk, it turns out.
I'm gonna say again, this is gonna mess us up.
Oh, my friend, my advice would be 1 coffee cup is your nightly limit.
Yeah. Wow, wow. Ooh, boy. Man, oh man. So we do have a few more CBCs too.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about, and we'll get
So
to
you
in
can
just
see. So you can see I'm at like whipped. It is definitely whipped, but it's still got some like liquid in it.
Yeah, that's
So what we want to do, again, the word of the day is fold. You want to take this and just fold out a little bit at a time. You can see it's almost like Cool Whip texture. And what you're going to end up with as you stir this up, if you have a little bit of thicker whipped cream, you might end up having to use a whisk for this. But what you're going to end up with is almost like a strata of whipped cream, a lacy topping of whipped cream on top of the rest of your smooth. And when you, there is a way to serve this. You definitely want to go into it with a ladle and go from like bottom to top. And you can see we have like, it's getting much more sort of silky and decadent almost.
God.
I hate to use the word. Opulent, even maybe.
Opulent.
Jesus.
The most opulent smooth.
So what I'm
still not sure how to spell.
this stuff is like, if the Titanic had been sailing on Christmas, this is what they would have. This would have been the symbol of their capitalistic excess. This stuff. All right.
Oh my God.
A couple of things. If you really want a spicy meatball, I'm going to go in here with a piece of whipped topping. Oh God. Okay. A couple of things you can do if you really want to spice things up. 2 seconds. Let me find it. So we can just do a touch of ground cinnamon for a little bit of color. Just, a little bit. And then I have some whole nutmegs. And I like to do nutmeg in the bowl as well as on top because I like to make nutmeg
We've already had some.
tastes. It does talk to me. So we're just gonna zest some nutmeg. And so then
Joel's having a good time. Joel's speaking sweet nothings to us.
You can see I have there's a method here to the madness. So I have my Athens, Georgia mug, as everyone should have an Athens, Georgia mug. And what I want to do is go straight down with the ladle, and then I just want to come like sort of straight back up. And what you'll see is if you do that a couple of times, you'll end up with almost like a whipped, like almost like a Starbucks eggnog, where you have just like a bunch of whipped stuff at the top.
I was going to use our clear mugs, babe.
So then I'm gonna do, just because I like eggnog quite a bit, I'm gonna do a little more eggnog. Oh wow! I just dropped the eggnog into the smooth. For extra flavoring on that, I'm not
What
gonna
do you
fish
mean
that out.
drop the eggnog into the smooth?
I thought those were the same thing.
I dropped the nutmeg.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I was like, what am I making?
No, it's sorry, a little bit of nutmeg on top.
Yo, fresh nutmeg. Oh, I also just dropped the eggnog into the smooth.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
Aha! Oh, there it goes.
So yeah, that's smooth. It looks good.
Wait.
What are we waiting
So
on?
I'm incorporating.
thank you to
It's
Vasco
incorporated.
of Valdosta State. He probably doesn't want his workplace attached to this recipe because it is diabolical. But thank you to Ben Vasco. And thank you also for this recipe to just to make sure we get thank you to Grandma Olden from Kerrville, Texas, who contributed this recipe indirectly to us. So here's to all of you. Happy holidays. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I will do my own. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Savage.
No, Samantha doesn't like eggnog, so she's just sitting over here kind of judging me.
I am not.
I'm gonna say ahead of this, I have never liked eggnog.
Well,
That is my secret, and I'm about to go dive headfirst into this one.
the whole
have
point
a
of
big-
smooth is it doesn't really matter if you like eggnog.
Very good.
Yeah, by I am done with it. Right? What do you think, Anna?
Me, please.
We're about to go in. Oh, lordy, lordy. Look who's about to be 40. About to age me 10 years.
No.
Oh my god, you're only 10 years away from 40. You're
Cheers,
so
dear.
old.
And Samantha just broke our
I did not.
blender,
No, I didn't.
immersion blender.
I did not.
Thoughts, Anna?
That'll get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Wait, is this right? Is this
Mhm.
the right? No.
Good night, everybody.
That will kick your ass.
Don't encourage that.
All right, I wanted to say to Patty Adair, who I love dearly, that Samantha did not break the immersion blender. She didn't break it. She aggressively disassembled it and then reassembled it.
Nathan, that is a really good drink.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's all credit to Ben, who I think I'm gonna say the first time this happened was the 2017 season, and we were in the post SEC pre-Rose Bowl sort of malaise where we had to just stick around Athens for a long time because we were trying to plan a Rose Bowl in like 3 weeks. And he came over and he was like, "I'm gonna make you some smooth," and it was like, that sounds sinister, and it was. It turns out.
Yeah. This will kick your ass.
And let me tell you, you get a little gingerbread rum in there, or
Mhm.
cinnamon whiskey, then it gets real. I have this is what you currently have in front of you, and I double checked the math here. That is technically 4 servings to some sort of giant, to Odin and Thor.
Yeah.
I have
This is for my ass.
yeah. If anyone is interested, I do have a 16 and 24 serving version of this.
This is outstanding.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh boy. This is the whole meal, y'all. Go dogs. An egg per every man, woman, and child.
Hey, I have an important Ask CBC while we're enjoying our eggnog at home. This is from Ab, one of our first fans. From Benjamin, my husband, in honor of D23, what is your favorite Star Wars game and why is it KOTOR 2?
It is KOTOR 2.
It is KOTOR 2. I will
That is
say,
the question.
Rogue Squadron is a close second.
Yes.
Oh,
I
you want to
also-
store this in like a carafe, and preferably
Yes.
something with a small top so it doesn't get a skim on it. You don't want it to like skim up. And this will actually keep, because this is about like 1/3 alcohol. This stuff will keep for a few days. So
So Rogue Squadron for me was the very first game I bought with my own money when I was very young.
Oh, that's meaningful.
So I'm super excited to see the new series. And I'm also, so KOTOR 2 is outstanding. I played hundreds of hours of both KOTORs. I also really, really, really love Shadows. What is it? Shadows of the Empire?
Shadow of the Empire, yeah. That was the first.
Man.
That was the first video game I owned because my mom bought me the N64 that came with Shadows of the Empire and Super Smash Brothers, which is for like $150. I got an N64, one of the greatest gaming systems of all time, and Super Smash Brothers, one of the best games of all time, and then also Shadows of the Empire, which is Dash Randar and the knockoff Millennium Falcon. I mean, it's good. It's good stuff.
It's bad.
I also read the book.
So cool.
Also very good.
Mm-hmm. That was the first game.
Outrider, amen. And it has like a little like flippy catamaran part, which I think is pretty cool. I want to say that I'm getting closer to catching up on the Mando, or on Mandalorian, by the way. For those of you in the Discord, soon I'll be able to talk about it. I just watched the episode where they introduce spoilers, where they introduce Moff Gideon, and they're like pinned down in the cantina, and the Nazi girl is there, and that's pretty good. I'm sorry, she's not a Nazi. She's just it's pretty odious. Yeah, she's just a terrible person. Here's some extra whipped cream. I did. I'm excited about that. Contemporaneous, I assume, with Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Post Rise of Skywalker.
Oh. Ahsoka is going to be simultaneous.
And so is Rangers.
There's one-
Rangers in the New Republic, I think, is also going to be simultaneous.
No, that one's going to be way, way in the past. It's going to be at the end of the High Republic, right?
No. That's there's another one that's just called High Republic, but Rangers is before the Mandalorian. The Ranger show is going to have Cara Dune in it briefly, but it's not about Cara Dune. I think it's like briefly post Endor is the deal. Okay, let's stop talking about Star Wars. Do we have any more Ask CBC?
Yeah. This one will probably take you a hot minute. This one is from Bro Broma. Can we get a Nathan rant on Medill grads and the new Lando show during the Booze-Stravaganza, please?
Okay. My comment on the Lando show is that I'm going to try to put this as politically as possible. All we have ever seen is the implication of Lando's seduction, and I need to see Lando's seduction. I need to see Donald Glover work his magic. That's all I'm saying. There's a more succinct way to put that, but I'd prefer not to say it on air. Yeah, no, I need to see him. Close the deal. Come in the ninth inning, up one run, and just throw strikes. That's what I need to see him do.
Will you send me a picture of the recipe?
Yeah.
I
got another Ask CBC for you.
Hold on. I got to do on my Medill grad rant.
Oh yeah, your Medill grads. Go for it.
This started, and it was not really Medill grads. It was started with Connecticut J School people, and I get frustrated because ESPN just got the rights to SEC football, the primetime game from CBS, and I think it'll be in 3 years, but they might buy out the last 3 years of the contract. And I'm frustrated because what ESPN often does with the South is a sort of like, I would call soft fetishization, where you highlight the things that you think are noble about the South, but in highlighting just what you think are the politically appropriate things, what you end up doing is making a monoculture out of an incredibly diverse group of people. And I think there's a sort of like geographical cultural appropriation that goes on when we talk about the South and rural areas in general writ large. And I think, a really good example of this is something like Hillbilly Elegy, which is trash for the record. Because, we're not doing it across racial lines, but what we end up doing, what I think people from the Northeast and the West Coast end up doing when they talk about the South is they end up sort of doing this sort of noble savage archetype over and over and over again. Like, isn't it so sad that this poor person is having to nobly strive through these systemic problems that were caused by white people from the Northeast? And like, oftentimes my understanding is that, and this is sort of something I stole from Holly Anderson on Twitter, is that like, these same Connecticut J School dudes are allowed to be wildly misogynistic and inappropriate just because they outwardly believe the correct political things. And so I just would say that, approaching the South with a little bit of nuance, what Patterson Hood would call the duality of this Southern thing, is really the only way to do the region justice. you know, and I think that ESPN cheapens its product, and ESPN hurts college football by treating Southern college football like a sort of like the way a colonial explorer would treat a religious ceremony, instead of treating it with the contextualization and the Southern voices that it actually deserves, right? So often I feel like people from the Northeast, the way they treat college football is like, oh, I went and got a ceremonial mask and I brought it back. And it doesn't matter that this means a lot to someone. For me, it's just a curiosity or whatever. And so that's what I think about ESPN taking over the SEC contract. I have a lot more to say about that, but this is probably not the time for it.
That's as far as we'll get right now. Hey, real quick, the last two drinks, the Cocoa Dance and the Cocoa Dance and this one, what are their plays?
Oh, okay. Cocoa Dance looks like it's normal, but secretly good. I'm going to say something like Split Zone, which is a play I've really liked this year out of the SEC out of UGA. It's been around the SEC a little bit because it looks like an up the middle run, but it actually has a lot more subtlety and variance to it. Smooth is, oh my God, my little cat has fallen asleep and he's such a beautiful gentleman. I'm sorry. I'd say Smooth is like a 13 personnel power run up the middle with a fullback. It's not subtle, but it works if you only need to get 1 or 2 yards. It scores a touchdown a lot of the time. Oh yeah, no, Smooth is putting Jalen Carter in as the fullback and then throwing it to him on play action. Like, it shouldn't work, but it does.
And so I will slowly move us into our last drink because it takes a little bit of preparation, but nowhere near as much as Smooth. Our very final drink is the Hot Toddy Munkin. It's just a hot toddy. It's a very simple drink. If you've never had a hot toddy, it is tea with honey. It's lemon.
Much easier done with a electric kettle, by the way.
Yep, we have our electric kettle here. This is something that I often have myself. Anna has herself at the end of the night. It's like a nice nightcap. It's one of the best nightcaps, I will say, because there's not a lot of sugar in it. You control how much sugar goes into it because it's literally just tea, honey, lemon, and if you want to get fancy, throw a cinnamon stick in there. It's traditionally made with Earl Grey, where I like to use a rooibos. A rooibos is an herbal tea, so there's no caffeine or anything in there. It's also pretty mellow. It's an African tea. If you would like to know all the things, you want to dive down the tea rabbit hole with me. It makes a really beautiful deep orange color. It also doesn't get super bitter as it sits in the glass, which is why I like it a lot. So a lot of like black teas and Earl Greys and things like that, the longer they sit and the longer they steep in the hot water, the longer you leave the tea bag in it, the more bitter it gets and the less pleasant it is. But with rooibos, it just sits there and it just kind of gets more rooibos, which is really nice. And so that's what we're going to be making finally. There's part of me that's like, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah, it was a mistake not to do Smooth last. You said, let's do Smooth second to last. And I was like, okay.
Okay. I mean, for me, the hot toddy just felt like kind of like a dessert, like a nightcap, like I just said. So that's the reason why I did it. But I'm drinking Smooth right now, and I'm like, I don't want any more booze.
You really don't.
No. I gotta finish the drill though.
We're in the fourth quarter, and this is when we run the up the gut middle 13 with Jalen Carter as the fullback.
I hate so much that I drank that entire glass.
I'm making this with ginger tea, another herbal tea that just has a bunch of different types of dried ginger in it. Because my favorite combination of flavors almost in the world is honey, lemon, and ginger.
Mm-hmm. Which is very nice. I like to do 2 tea bags, 2 quick tea bags in there. Oh, I realize now that my immersion blender is plugged in and not my electric tea kettle. So while that heats up, Nathan, I do have one more Ask CBC while we're doing this thing. This one is, this is from Joel also. If you could summarize each game this season as a beverage, what would they be? Preferably alcoholic, but soft drinks can be used.
All right, so we're going to have to go back and do these in order.
Yeah, I got you. Ready?
All right, hit me.
First one's Georgia, Arkansas. Georgia won 37-10. They were still ranked 9th.
I'm going to say that's like Coke and Old Crow because it's not great at the start, but if you do it enough, it ends up being, fine.
The next one was Georgia beat Auburn 27-6 on the October 3rd. Still ranked 9th.
I'm gonna go with that's just like a good, clean American lager, because it's so Georgia beating Auburn is just so, extent in the culture now that it's just a fixture. It's like Bud Heavy.
Okay. It's like Bud Heavy.
You can buy it anywhere, any year. Georgia beats Auburn.
Then there was the game where we kind of thought like, oh, this is not what we thought it was going to be like. The Tennessee game, 44-21.
Why would I be mean?
Y'all, I'm
not going to be mean to Stetson Bennett about this. I would say I would actually make more of a comment on the defense and say that this is like a mixed drink that uses like schnapps or Jägermeister, in that it's like it has the appearance of being classy and good, but there's a little crack in the armor, right? Like oh wow, we just Tennessee's Jared Guarantano just threw 3 deep touchdowns on us. Like, oh, is this really that classy? Like, oof.
Next game was Alabama Georgia. Alabama ranked 1st, Georgia 9th, 41-24.
Everclear. Next question.
This is the next one was like the wheels just came off. It felt like Georgia Kentucky 14-3 on Halloween. I think that's important.
I'm gonna go with Miller High Life. Like secretly a little bit better than you think it is, but like functional. Barely functional, but functional.
Got the job done. Next one was Florida Georgia 6-9. Nice. 44-28.
Original formulation for Loco.
The very first one with a ton.
It's strong out the gate, but long term you'll regret it.
Next game was Mississippi State Georgia. Georgia won 31-24.
Let's say, I actually think it's our holiday own Condon. Like a revelation, a breath of fresh air.
Revelation. And then last weekend, 2 weekends ago, Georgia, South Carolina, 45-16.
Let's go with just like a Cuba Libre, because sometimes you got to just like keep it simple, keep it on the ground and pound it out, put a little lime in there, just make it happen, get home.
Also, tomorrow's game in Como, Missouri's ranked 25th, which I think is great, to Georgia's 9th. I think you could probably name a drink for this right now. They're playing at noon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a shower beer, because it's like, it's cool, but like, what are we really doing here? Like, what's the point of it? Like, it's fun. Like, we enjoy it.
Sure.
But we don't need this. It's at noon, and like maybe you should have eaten breakfast before this.
Maybe instead of this, you should have a bowl of cereal.
Yeah,
or something.
go have a breakfast burrito first.
Outstanding. Finally, the hot toddy bunkin.
All right, walk me through this.
So it's going to be a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of honey. I like things that aren't super sweet. If you like things that are sweet, go heavier on the honey. This is a drink that's super forgiving, especially if you have a really light, like a rooibos tea or an herbal tea that's not going to be super bitter as you let it sit and steep. So with my rooibos, I've got it in there already. I like 3 ounces of bourbon in my hot toddy. I just like bourbon and I like tea.
A very literal nightcap.
Yeah, it's a nightcap for sure.
You're going
to
see
2 ounces. 2 ounces is pretty typical of most cocktails, and so if you're trying to make just any kind of cocktail and you're like, I don't know how to make it, 2 ounces is a good average, a good place to be, if it's the only alcohol in said cocktail. Because there are a lot of other cocktails out there that you'll do 1 ounce of this, 1 ounce of that, 1 ounce of that other thing. But the hot toddy, I like 3 ounces in there with my rooibos, my honey. The honey kind of balances out the bourbon bite. And so you're good. If you want a little bit more honey and you don't love bourbon, or if you have a really sweet bourbon, you can do a little bit less honey. But if you're using like a rye whiskey, it's going to be a little bit spicier, a little bit more bite. You can do a little bit more honey to kind of balance those things out. So think about that. And finally, just throw a quick squeeze of lemon. You don't need much lemon. I would cut like half a lemon and then just give it a quick squeeze, not the whole half, which is now confusing, I understand. Where my knife went, nothing is where it should be at this point. I'm gonna cut my lemon just in half. I'm gonna give it a quick squeeze. I usually get, if I have a half of a lemon, Anna and I can both have a hot toddy with the lemon that is in there. So, quick squeeze, little stir. That's it. It's the simplest, easiest drink to have, and it's my favorite thing in the colder months. So, that's a hot toddy munkin.
I did it in my in glass, which I think might be from apothecary. I could swear to
Probably.
it.
Or anthropology.
Anthropology. Pardon.
They're apothecary. You're right. Yeah, that's the same thing. Sure.
Yeah,
It's
you know.
super hot, so I probably shouldn't sip it, but.
This is the poison that kills Romeo. Second English major reference of the night.
You've made many.
Oh yeah.
I think that
I like to go a little heavier on lemon. I like it tart.
Yeah. you like it a little bit tart. I think it's good, especially if you're doing like a ginger and stuff. So you want a little bit more tart.
Oh yeah.
You want it to kind of bite. But yeah, that's Nathan. That's the show.
We did it.
That's the we did it. Oh, you need to make a play for the hot toddy.
Hot toddy. Hot toddy is the victory formation because it's like we're done here. We enjoy this play. Nothing much happens, but we're getting out of here. You know.
I think we've been here for almost 2 hours, so
Yeah.
it's time to say goodbye. Take a knee, y'all. It's been really fun. You know, next week if we do play Vanderbilt, we'll do a preview show for Vanderbilt. We'll see what happens. If y'all have,
I don't think we're playing Vanderbilt personally.
we're probably not playing Vanderbilt. But love y'all. It's been fun. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
You stuck to
Absolutely.
the end.
Yeah. The
Thank-
three of you that are still watching, thank you.
Oh, I just spilled my hot toddy. I'm gonna go eat something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Like an entire pizza. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Joel, especially for doing this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Big ups to Joel. Big ups to my wife for putting up with me. I love her very
Yes,
much.
my
Happy anniversary.
Whenever she answered a phone call a moment ago, and she also made the whole move.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Doing it.
We're gonna go watch Keira Knightley's Pride and Prejudice and cook each other steaks. So
love it.
we will catch you in the Classic City this weekend, or in Como, or in Parts Unknown. But until then, go dogs.
Dogs.
Ba-da-da-da-da.